right, we'll get started. We will welcome Jon Rahm into the interview room at the BMW Championship. Jon has 4 top 10s at this event in 5 starts, including a win in 2020.
I had no idea.
Three straight top 10s. So I guess I'd ask you to...
I sometimes don't want to know those things. I don't want to think about it.
Talk about your history at this tournament, although you may not be familiar with it.
Well, so when's the last... Because we were in Boston, not Boston. Olympia Fields. Caves Valley, Olympia Fields, and which one was before that?
I don't know, sorry, off the top of my head where we were in 19.
Medina.
Was that around
Medina.
Medina,
Okay, so
1918.
yeah.
Been to Delaware, and how's it been so far?
Well, we were around Aronomic not too long ago. Is that in Delaware, or are we like on the state border?
Pennsylvania.
Exactly right. Same thing to me, honestly. It's an hour away. No offense to anybody, obviously, but no, I have not been then.
Ben?
Mate, I'll just ask, on that, when we have a new course that you guys haven't been to, you guys are all elite professional golfers, so you have your 2 days or 3 days prep. How hard or easy is it for you guys to just pick up a new place and play so well?
There's some times where not overthinking a golf course helps, meaning a lot of times you might not be aware of all the troubles, so you just focus on what you have to do. You don't have any past experiences, you don't know what could happen, right? You just know there's a fairway you have to hit or a shot you have to hit, and that's it. So that sometimes helps. On the other hand, obviously, seeing a golf course in all different conditions and all different wind possibilities gives you a lot of experience with strategies, and coming down the stretch, you can help out a lot. But at the end of the day, if it was experience that was the most valued aspect of a golfer, I think the younger guys and rookies wouldn't really have a chance any week, right? So it comes down to who's playing the best and who can get comfortable as fast as possible.
And given you went so close last year to winning it all, do you find yourself thinking on a Sunday here, every shot really does matter because it could be one extra shot next week, etc., for your start? Or do you try to keep that out until you get to Eastlake?
No, we're here to win a tournament. I'm pretty sure if I win a tournament, it takes care of itself. That's it. So nothing else. I'm not going to be making a decision on the golf course coming down the stretch on the back nine thinking about my FedEx Cup position. I'll be thinking about my leaderboard position and if I can win or not.
Doug?
That just takes all the wind out of my sails for my next question. But from my point of view, this is a really big week. There's a lot of focus on top 30, obviously, but I wonder if you could speak to the kind of the higher echelon of last year going into Eastlake behind that you could have avoided with a better finish here. How important it is to have.
I think there was another week that could have remedied that.
Right.
Yeah.
But by and large, as we're here going forward,
yeah.
Can you help me here, Jon?
I know what you mean, but again, I try to focus on what's going on this week, and my goal this week is to win a championship. Right, like I said, that will take care of itself. My strategy will not vary based on my FedEx Cup position. Right.
Second wouldn't be terrible this week, would it?
No, it wouldn't be bad. But whether I'm 2, 3, or 4 behind, I'm still going to try to win the tournament. Right. So I'm not gonna maybe. Let's say I don't know what the 18th hole looks like, but like if I miss the fairway and I have a lie where I can go for the green and put myself at risk but maybe make a par, I won't be thinking of my FedEx Cup position. I'm going to go for it. So that's kind of what I mean, right? You want to finish as high as possible because that way I will go as high as possible into next week. But with that said, I mean, obviously goals to be number 1. But if you can get in the top 5, I think the top 5 really have a very close chance. You're within 5 shots, which over 4 days is not that much. You can make up quite a bit of it on the first day. I think last year I was in 4th place going into it and gave myself a really good run.
And then I did have one LIV question, actually, as it related to the hearing last week, or the outcome of the hearing. Did you find yourself not watching it necessarily, but at least paying attention to it? And would it have been at all awkward if the boys had been let in?
Well, I can tell you I had zero attention on it. I only found out that it was going on because I walked by player dining and I saw about 10 really nervous people pacing all around the room. And I was like, well, there's something going on. And then I asked and heard what was going on. But I was in the room when the judge made her decision known, but only because I was walking by and they told me it was time. So I was like, yeah, I'll stay. I think it could have made things a little bit awkward. Yeah. They chose to leave the PGA Tour. They chose to go join another tour knowing the consequences and then try to come back and get, courts and justice in the way. Wouldn't have, I would say, sit extremely well with me, but at the same time, they're adults, right? They're free to do as they please to an extent, and that's what they chose to do. If they're allowed by a judge, I'm nobody to say otherwise. So, would have been awkward, possibly, but I guess we'll never know.
Did you get any sense that we're not going to see these guys for a while?
It doesn't look like it. I'm confident that the LIV side of things are still gonna push strong to keep trying to change some things. But I also know that the lawyers in the PGA Tour side are gonna keep fighting to keep things the way they're going right now. So it's not the last thing we're gonna hear from them, but I don't know. I just started watching the show Suits, so I'm kind of learning now about what happens in a courtroom.
Gene?
Hey, John, following up on that a little bit, when you look at the top 6 in last year's BMW, 3 of them are in LIV now. They're not here this year, obviously. Kind of what's your perspective on the field this time around with some of those great players not here?
One of the great things about the PGA Tour is the depth of field, and 3 of them won, but we got Will Zalatoris and Cameron Young, who are 2 amazing players that have played amazing this year, and the rise of many other great stars. So there's always a hungrier future star coming that's willing to put in the work and make themselves know. Lack of talent on the PGA Tour and in the world of golf is not an issue. So again, you might have lost some names, but you're gaining some great golfers. And those 2 players have done amazing this year and have made themselves known. So I don't think we're essentially losing that much because, like I said, you're just getting to know some great players that were there that you haven't heard of before.
One more on that. There have been reports in various media outlets that Tiger's coming in today to kind of talk to some of the players about PGA Tour and LIV. Is there an insight you can give to us on that, and if it's happening, and what may become of that meeting?
Boy, news can be wrong sometimes. There is a player meeting, but that's all I can tell you about that. There's also a PAC meeting, so I don't know if on the news they were talking about the PAC meeting or not. I saw Alan Shipnuck tweeted something, the most reliable source in golf. So I don't know what to tell you. I don't have Tiger's phone number, so I can't tell you if it's coming or not.
I wanted to go back to 2016 and talk about your start on the tour. There's we've seen over the years, a number of really good amateurs, college players, and they either haven't won yet out here, struggle out here, some don't make it out here. It can be hard sometimes just to tell what the progression is going to be like. And from your standpoint, I was curious if you knew you were good and had what kind of level of confidence that you have that you were going to succeed. However you want to measure success.
Yeah. Lack of confidence has never been an issue for me. I've always been extremely confident in my abilities. But unlike many amateur or college players, I was able to test myself on PGA Tour events, and Phoenix being a massive one, and compete at it wasn't my A game, but still post the top 5 and actually have a decent chance of being up there. So that gave me a massive boost of confidence of kind of confirming what I already knew, that I had the talent to be up there and play with some great players that have been playing really good in the past. So when I turned pro and I went to Congressional to the Rocket Mortgage event, I only had one goal in mind. I had 6 events to get my card, but I can guarantee you I was trying to win those 6 events and almost succeeded twice. So again, I've said it many times, when I tee it up in a tournament, I tee it up to win. And that's what I try to do. And thanks to some of those showings in the past, I knew I had the ability to play my game, and I knew my game was enough to get a win. Now, with that said, a lot of it is also how you're mentally prepared to handle it, right? Life as a PGA Tour golfer is not easy, and there's a reason why I stayed a fourth year in college, was to get ready. I could have turned pro as a junior, and I didn't because I didn't feel like I was ready. So I also promised my family I was going to graduate, but I think having an extra year to get ready and mentally prepare for what PGA Tour life is helped me out a lot.
So, as badly as you want to win, when you did really well at Rocket or Congressional in, what was the other, was it Canada?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was there any part of you that was happy to have made progress towards your card, or still upset that you lost? How did you?
No, I was upset that I lost. There was two instances. So on 17 on Sunday, I was in the second to last group, and Billy, I was charging up on Billy.
Are we at Congressional?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was playing great, and I was a couple back, and on 17, because adrenaline, I hit my layup a little too hard and went through in the rough, and never crossed my mind to try to hit it to the center of the green 2-putt and par 18 and guarantee myself a second place. I just went straight at the pin. Got a flyer, went long, made bogey, made par on 18, and finished third. And the first question they asked me is, you just gave up $300,000, which would have pretty much guaranteed your card. And my response was, I'm not here to finish second, I'm here to win. Right? Same thing was in Canada. In Canada, I had a 10-footer on 18 to tie Jonathan Vegas and get into a playoff, and I missed it. And one of the first things Tim Mickelson told me, my manager at the time, is you secured enough money, because at the time it was money, to guarantee your tour card. And the whole flight back home from Toronto to Phoenix, I was only thinking of the fact that I missed a 10-footer to possibly win a tournament. So no, maybe a couple of days after I realized, oh my God, I have my tour card. But at that point, it was only my fourth start. So no, I wasn't thinking about it.
I wasn't at Congressional.
Like I said,
it wasn't me that asked the question. I swear.
Like I said, I played to win, and that was my goal. I wanted to win. I didn't want to have to play all 6 events. I wanted to win one, be able to choose my schedule, and make the FedEx Cup playoffs.
Lastly, as a student of the game, when you see young kids coming through in college, is there anyone that you can, I'm not looking for a name, but can you look at somebody and say, oh yeah, this guy can't miss?
I think it kind of goes back to what I said earlier. I think a lot of them have the physical talent to be PGA Tour golfers. It's all up to what's up here. I don't know. You don't know what's going on in their head. You don't know how they're thinking, and you truly don't know. So there's many first-round draft picks that never really make it to the level they're supposed to make it, right? So you never know. There's so many things that go into it, right? I mean, it could be you get a small injury, right, that can kind of make that path a little bit different. You have family situations, you have personal situations. I mean, it's so many variables that go into it, and I consider you need to work very hard and to an extent somewhat get lucky to have an entry to the PGA Tour, the likes of mine or Jordan Spieth, Tiger and Phil, a little bit different. But, people that just make it straight through college, like Matt Wolff, like Colin, you need a couple, you need a bit more than just physical talent to get that done. And it's all up to what's in your head and how you can handle the life.
Espen?
All right, Jon. I just talked to some players yesterday, and they were surprised by how long the course is playing. Some of them were comparing it almost to like a U.S. Open setup. What's your impression? Do you share that view?
I'll let you know when I play, because I haven't been out there yet. My guess is, I heard there's some length to it, but we had some rain yesterday too, so I'm guessing it's not releasing on the fairway quite as much, right? If we get days like today for the rest of the week, Saturday and Sunday will be a little different story. But that's kind of how this event is played, right? They like the long rough, they like the course to be long, but at the same time, when you have soft greens at this level of the game, you will have some players that have enough distance to attack anything, and you still see low scores. So I don't know. I really haven't been out there. I wish I could tell you.
Just curious about your view on the playoffs versus the regular season. How does your mindset change when it's so different in the scenarios?
It doesn't change. my goal is to finish as high as possible on the leaderboard. I play to win, and if not, I'm going to try to finish second, if not third, and so on, right? 30th is better than 31st. That's simple as that, right? So my mindset doesn't really change. I know the consequences could be greater if going into next week if you miss a shot or not, but you can't be down the stretch thinking, oh, if I don't make a birdie, I'm going to be in 17th place next week, because it's just not, what you do, that is a consequence of what you do on the golf course. So just focus to choose on what I have to do at the moment.
All right, Jon, thank you very much for your time. Okay, sorry, one more for Doug.
Just made me think. I thought you were so really gracious last year when you didn't win the FedEx Cup, and there was a lot of talk, I think, on our end. You started 4 behind, did you not?
Something
I think like
so.
that. Had the better score, blah, blah, blah. You seem to really accept the system. Is that
well, I can't
true?
change anything.
I know that, but I mean, do you have a pretty good understanding that this is just the way it's going to work? The best score doesn't win, or you could have a one.
I think
bad week,
I've made my position on that clear in the past. I don't think it's the best system. You don't get to the Super Bowl and the team with a better record starts with a 2-touchdown advantage. I think it's absolutely ludicrous, but it's the best choice we have right now.
Hang on, sorry, get the microphone.
Or Djokovic didn't have a 1-set advantage over Kyrgios at Wimbledon. But I understand that's how the playoffs are made. I understand it's easier for the viewers and for us to know what's going on. Because I've spoken to past champions, and sometimes they would be on 16 and they didn't know, like, oh, if I make one birdie, I win the FedEx Cup. If not, this can happen. It was a bit confusing. So I understand that aspect of it, but it's a bit odd that you just are given certain. I've said it a couple of times before, but I think it's good for what we have right now. I don't know what the solution is.
Well, just in that vein, you make the Super Bowl, and you start on level pegging. If you went in number 1 and number 31 starting at scratch, you would be okay with that as the winner of the FedEx Cup?
No matter what, you have to accept it. It's what it is.
I mean, but if you're saying, is that what you're suggesting, that everyone there starts level, like just get there and then it's level playing?
Oh God, no.
No.
No. Listen. I've been told different things. One of the main things is, if the Patriots make it to the Super Bowl and they don't win the Super Bowl. And I'm like, my response is always, they finish second. I think it's ludicrous, again, that you can win every event of the year until that point. You have a bad week and you can finish 30th. I don't think that's fair, but it is what it is.
Good, Gene. All right. Thank you very much for your time, Jon.
Thank you.
Best of luck this